What's going on, guys? It's Matt from DNR Auto. So for those of you that don't know, we are at my garage at my house. Behind me is the LS swapped SN95 Mustang known as the Mustake. Just a little background story on how we got here. Very long story short. This car was built in a time limit under a budget to go race another shop that never ended up happening. We tried everything we couldn't get it to work. There was a multitude of issues, mostly, I'm gonna be very choosy with what I say about it. I will say that there was probably too many hands in the pot and too many things went wrong, and with too many brains working on it, we just couldn't get it figured out. So with that being said, like that race when it happened, 2 days before that, we had a different motor in here that I don't know if an injector got hung up, what exactly happened. Long story short, it hydrolocked the motor. So in the course of 48 hours, we put together another junk motor that we had, threw it together and tried to make it to the racetrack, made it to the racetrack, couldn't get it to run right. That was the end of that. At the racetrack, we knew that this one had low compression, about half on one of the cylinders. And since that day and that whole ordeal and everything, it's kind of just been pushed off into a corner and sitting off to the side, doing nothing. But that being said, I had done a couple things. I had figured out a couple things over time, just every once in a while, throwing 10, 15, 20 minutes at it. And one of the more recent developments was that I figured out that the spark plug wires had melted because the Chinese eBay up and forward headers, which were supposed to produce awesome nitrous flames out the front bumper, were melting the spark plug wires. So today I had grabbed a bucket of the spare LS plug wires that I have and came home and said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna throw some new wires on. I know one of the cylinders down on compression. I know there's other issues, but let me see if I can't get it fired up. So I'm gonna hop on this right now, go ahead and swap those wires out. I also could only find one out of the two coil pack extension harnesses that I had. So I'm gonna drop one coil pack down, get it off the header in case it does fire and run. Other side, well, that's the side with cylinder with no compression, so it's gonna stay there. And if I melt the plug wire, the whole goal here is just to kind of see if I can make it run so I can drive it and move it, so I can start moving it around, make it a little bit easier on myself. So I'm gonna hop to that and we'll go from there. So here we are in the Mustake shit box, and we've got popping and cracking and everything but running. So we're gonna open up the file and see if I can't find a little something from maybe the last time I was screwing with this thing that I had changed or screwed up, and we will see. Let's see if it'll connect. I don't have the right cord. I had to use a different cord. I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not. I am connected to the COM port. We are on K-line adapter mode, and we are attempting to connect. But the cord that came with the Tech system, not sure that there's anything special about it, but I don't know where it is at the exact moment, so I just grabbed a random cell phone cord that fit in the hole. I'm not gonna wait on this video all night. We'll get back if it works. Okay, so as it turns out, it was indeed this shitty cord. That was my problem, because now we are connected. And as you can see, I hit the play button, bring up the dash, and we're showing manifold absolute pressure value, we're showing battery voltage, we're showing all of this stuff right now. What I believe, I'm not sure is entirely the problem, but we will try something here. We're kind of slightly off on our map value, so we will send that to the ECU, and that brought it down a little bit. Let me see. Screwed that one all up. Let's just try 51. And we are way, I mean, we're not way out, but we're still a little ways off. I don't remember it having to be this low for this map sensor, but I could be wrong. 106. Essentially what I'm trying to do here is get that KPA map value down to 100-ish, 101, 101.5. We'll do that. Injector flow rate, which doesn't look right, so we will change that as well. We'll send that to the ECU. And then what we're gonna want to do is go ahead and go on and off with it, or off. And let me go full off. And go back at it, receiving timeout. Yeah, because I went full off with her. So go back there. We will retry. And let me read this. Yep, for whatever reason, it did not save to the ECU. Injector flow rate is not 119 pounds per hour. I wish it was. Let's try this again. And send that data to the ECU. And we'll pick up the dash there again. And this should be key cycling, depending on if the wiring was hooked up right. I don't know, I wasn't in charge of the wiring. All right, let's try firing it again, see what happens. You got nothing, and a whole lot of it. Oh, we got big booms again. Well, looks like I'll be playing with this all fucking night. All right, so I've been playing with it a little bit, fighting some stuff back and forth, and looks like KPA is gonna be okay, everything else. But I've been cranking and checking and everything else. But it looks like, let me make sure my injector flow rate is at least close enough. But it appears as though the problem now is going to be battery power, because it looks like yeah, she's just dying out. Looks like I don't have enough battery power. Well, that's about it. So the obvious thing is it's not going to run. It hasn't run in months. Even if I had, which I don't have my jump box here, I have nothing to help me get power, so I'm kind of screwed at this point. The whole point of this was kind of just to see if I could make it start, make some noises, whatever, so I can put it in drive and move it forward and back and whatnot, get it out of the garage, clean up the garage a little bit, so that way I could set the garage up to make more videos. But that's obviously not going to happen. I knew that this motor was going to have to get torn down anyway. To be honest with you, I'm not a super huge fan of the car in its entirety anyway, so I don't know that I'm going to mess with it too much. I've got some special stuff planned for the channel and for some upcoming videos, so I don't know how much I'm going to mess with it. But there you guys have it. Kind of sucks, didn't work out. And that is ultimately the nature of this car, and that's kind of the reason I don't like it so much, is that this one is one that always lets me down and always fails me. I do have in my back pocket some other tricks, and I have some other stuff that does not let me down. So it's very possible that I may just take this thing out, part it out, sell it as a roller, do whatever, take parts and pieces of it off of it that I want. I still want to mess with the Phytech system more. I've not gotten a chance to fully go through that system and really get a good hands-on opinion of that system and how well it does or does not work. Plus, I want to do more in the Phytech video series on how to, and excuse me, also got some plans to try to do some advanced stuff in the Phytech computer that you're not supposed to do. You guys already kind of saw in this video, if anybody's ever messed with it, Phytech will not tell you anything about map sensor scaling. That's something I had to just kind of jump in and try on my own and try to get figured out. I'm not saying it's entirely correct or 100% right, but I can tell you that one of the problems that we had in the past was the map sensor and having the appropriate map sensor, because anybody who saw the live unboxing video, when I unboxed the Phytech system, it didn't even have an ECU in the box. It had wiring, it had a bunch of stuff, so they sent me an ECU. One of the things that was also forgotten that I didn't know at the time was the map sensor. So, been through a bunch of different map sensors, trying to get that right, and I'm playing a little bit with the Phytech system, trying to get the computer to accept the map sensor that's in there, so that way it will run. I think I'm gonna end this video with a short clip of the one time I did get it to run halfway decently, and idle on its own and everything else. And that, I believe, yeah, that actually was from just me messing with the map sensor. So I know we still, these are decap injectors. We may or may not have issues with those. It's down compression on one cylinder. There's probably all sorts of things wrong with this. Maybe I'll take it out, tear it down on video, whatever. But thank you guys for tuning in. Excuse me. If you want to see more fireballs, if you want to see more cool LS shit get done, click like and subscribe. I'm signing off.